welcome to Week 14 podcast. Folks, the season's over. Playoff starts this weekend. How's it going, Rob?
It's going good, Sam. For some of us, the season's been over for many, many weeks.
Oh, yes, true, yes. Yeah. Mine's I didn't have a chance, but anyways, should we announce the some winners? Oh,
Yeah, why
award
not?
winners? Sure.
Why not? Let's start with everybody. That was a fantastic season. It was
Yes.
not without some controversy because, there was. We'll get to that on the Wolf game later, but not much we can do about that. We have, there's no controversy. It's just there's no score for a fumble recovery. Sorry. It was a great season for everybody, though, man. I was really happy. We kind of kept it going pretty mellow. Everybody did everything. Now everybody just needs to pay, and we need to crown a champion, and we'll go from there, right?
Yep. So let's start off with the easy one. The highest weekly high score.
Weekly high score, what? New Denver, 229.5, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Week
just
5.
keep it on rolling. New Denver. He's got the season high score too, because look at that, man. I mean, he got it by what? How many total points? By like 20 points over Cody, right? Or Autumn Wind, excuse me. I'm looking at that. He's got the 2,084, and we jump down there to 2,060. 24 points he gets it by. Ooh, that's ugly.
Oh, wow.
Not for New Denver. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. We didn't even talk about that, Rob. You just brought it up. I'm like surprised. We didn't.
That one, we were, just so everybody knows, we were confirming the large margin, the bad beats, and this weekly. No, this one's pretty easy to see, Sam. It's just right there, right on the standings. Find me who's got the season high score, 2,084. That's New Denver. Yeah, so we don't give any money for the season low score. Who was that? That was Kelly Bulldogs coming in, and he had some competition from Mad Dog, and Gang Green tried to move down there and keep us some company too. But that gets you $0, just so we clarify that.
Yes.
It just gets you a mention on the Week 14 podcast, though.
Yeah. So how much does he win for the weekly high score, and how much does he win for
all the little awards are $75. Winning
okay.
the division's $100.
Oh gosh, gotcha. And and let's talk about bad beat. Goes to
High Rollers.
184 points, and lost to the Heart Foundation at 200 points in week 8. So congratulations, High Rollers.
And in all fairness to Manny here, he deserved this because he got 2 of the 3 bad beats, and I think if I kept going backwards, I think he's got like 3 of the top 5 bad beats on the year. So there was no love for Manny this year. No. There's a $75 consolation prize. We'll knock off the money you owe to the league.
There you go. And then the other one is largest margin of victory. That goes.
The old large marge award. Everybody think back to Pee Wee Herman when. So Pee Wee's Big Adventure, large marge on this very league.
Yes.
3 weeks ago. Who was it, Sam?
Week 11. Bagger the Bat versus against High Rollers in week 11, 169.75 to 74.50. Which is a difference of 95.25 points.
95. He's the big winner. Who brought this guy into the league?
Do I get a consolation?
No, you owe the league, man.
Yes.
We'll talk about Tay in a minute here.
So like you were mentioning, let's go ahead and take a look at the quote unquote standings, and then we can talk about the winner division and the bye. So let's go ahead and take a look at Conference 1, the total Conference 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
New Denver easily takes this out. He gets the first round bye. He's got the number 1 slot in the waiver wire going into this week, and he's got a whole bunch of monetary awards. New Denver is the man of the hour right now. Right below him there, Savs this is the definition of just limping into the playoffs. A 5-game losing streak, almost a catastrophic loss.
Wow.
But just almost would have fallen out. Fortunately for him, straight LA, Helloso, and Gangrene never really could mount much of anything there. And we're all just, I mean, God, straight LA tried at the end. He got two. He took day out. He was right there. He's a game short on him. He's good to see, and he's a whole bunch of points. But man, it just, I tell you what, Jaime was so dominant at the beginning of the season. It was just,
Yeah.
he was rolling. I
Yeah.
mean, look at those points, God. And I mean, that's a 5 game losing streak, and he's just, and he's kind of found a way to lose every possible way. So,
So
like I told
he
him in a text, yeah,
so
I told him the other day, I said, you're due, man. You got to be the man of the hour at this point, right? Who's ever lost 6 games in a row in fantasy outside of Scott to start the season, right?
well,
But
no. I started the season. He went 1-7 or 1-8.
oh
but
yeah, yeah.
but no. So looking at Stavs, he was 8-1 at one point. He
Oh
was
yeah, he was walking to it, and then you had New Denver was 5-4, and here we are 10-4 and 8-6. I mean, this is an insane deal here with these two guys. I mean, it really is, and I love them both. They're both great players, and I don't. There's one team I root for in this league, and that's me. But fortunately, every now and again, I got to let other teams win. It helps people come back and play this league. So, New Denver and Savs, I mean, good for them. But that is a crazy turn of events there, isn't it?
yeah.
5-4 and 8-1, and now you're getting the dream scenario of having to play Tay in round one. So that's Don just sitting there pretty, and you getting to play Tay. Tay, kudos. You want to. A division where it just seems like we talked about this a few times this year. It's just a whole bunch of stop and starts by all 4 teams. So you got multiple time champions across the board in this league, and it just we just couldn't live up to the billing. It's like a pitching matchup of the greats, and they go out there and they're both out there in the third inning. So and kudos to him. He's the big winner there. I will give some applause to Straight LA for taking him out in week 14, doing what I or Nolan couldn't do. And I just felt like I let the whole damn division down when I lost to him a couple of weeks ago. But he put up like 230 on me. There's not much I could do, So I was like, yeah, I wanted him. So kudos to you, Tay. That's a good win on a good division, and good luck to these 3 teams going forward.
All right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at the whole of Conference 2.
Yeah, this is all right. So let's kind of do this out of order here, because we're going to have to talk a little bit about the Hart Foundation and the Wolfpack here for a second. And we have the autumn win. First of all, kudos to the autumn win. It blows it up. I mean, just destroyed the division, 11-3 to 7-7, 2,060 points. He just missed the season high score there, and by 24 points, and it is what it is. So Degenerate, gets back to 500. Good for him. Mad Dog Kelly Bulldogs, it's not a good year for dogs, I guess. So, we'll just go with that. So good luck to you. Better luck next year. Michael, way to come back. Michael had some bad luck this year, man. Look at that. He's less than 100 points off the season high score, and he's limping into with 3 in a row. That's not limping in. He's finishing strong. He's running with a high stride, well after the race is over, but he's coming in big. He's finished the marathon, man. He did it. So, all right. On the other side, Hart Foundation holds off Wolfpack by 2.5 points. 2.5, Sam. 2.5. 2.5, Sam.
That's crazy.
And one win. One win. I mean, dude, I thought when I put like quarter points and all this shit in here that we wouldn't have any ties. We've had 3 this year. It's like, I give up, dude. I would start going to 100th points, and we'd probably have 6 ties. So Wolfpack Hart Foundation. So this game there is no controversy here, but here's the deal. So this year we ran into a situation where Austin Eckler fell in one in the end zone, fumble recovery, 0 points. We had a wide receiver fell on one in the end zone. Fumble recovery. There is no rule in this league and in a lot of leagues for a touchdown by fumble recovery by the offense. It doesn't exist. We score by passing, rushing, or receiving. We also have defensive fumble recoveries for touchdown for the team. But for the player, there is nothing of that ability. And rarely does anybody ever care. They happen every now and again. There was a very interesting call earlier this year where the NFL on a Josh Allen shotgun snap. The NFL inexplicably called this. He dropped the shotgun for about a second. It bounces almost like he was playing basketball, picks it back up, and runs it in the end zone. So for about 20 minutes that day, the NFL had inexplicably called this a fumble recovery by Josh Allen for a touchdown, not a rushing touchdown. And about 20 minutes later, they adjusted. So the league here follows, just as the scoring does, follows the what do you call it? Whatever the NFL posts. So
Correct.
there you go. So Tyreek Hill pulls the ball out of the scrum and runs it in for 60 yards the other day. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. It looks like it. I mean, I'm sitting there consoling Todd on it, but I'm going, yeah, dude, there ain't no points coming your way, bro. That's a non-touchdown, and we don't adjust for that shit mid-season. And and Todd did not, by any stretch of the imagination, throw a tantrum over it or anything. But I'm like, that's just not how it works. The league scores it. So I don't even think I have an option for a individual player score in the entirety of the scoring setup. And trust me, it's vast for adding points in there. But I don't think I have an option for offensive player by himself scores touchdown on fumble recovery, which is weird. Personally, I think the NFL should probably have called that a rushing touchdown, from the point of recovery. But what are you going to do?
It's interesting because the announcers were talking about that a lot. I don't know if you guys tuned in, but the announcers saying that, yes, Tyreek gets the touchdown, but he doesn't get the yardage. That's all the announcers were talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, and you can see it as like a team, but no, we play defense and special teams. We don't have the offense, and that ball never changed hands. And to where they can call that a defensive or special teams touchdown. That's the way we used to score it. I don't know how the NFL would score that now. We've only had that come up like twice in our entire life. Yeah, it's a really weird play. There was one by Eckler earlier this year where I think, I don't know, the receiver, he fumbled and Eckler jumped on it. And it's what's weird is these don't really show up as much. I don't know if the NFL changed the rule or what. I don't know. Maybe somebody on this call can fill me in on it, but it's weird. But, for next year, I will look at it. But, I mean, it's not, something that you normally think about to put in. But if it's not a score, it's not a score. And it's not been a score all year. And, so Cody wins the championship. And by the way, I mean, Cody wins the championship on it. I mean, it's, we're not going to play one play on wins the division on it. It's just weird. It's always interesting when you got like one play in an entire season. You go, but what about that? You go, yeah, I don't know. What about, the week that you didn't start this guy or that guy? So it is what it is,
It is what it is.
Yeah, but anyway, so like I said, if anybody's wondering about that, the whole Tyreek Hill thing, that don't score in this league. That's how the NFL scores them, and that's kind of like a what's called an other or an empty touchdown. How dumb is that, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that's what the NFL calls it. And there are no scoring, and you can go check your scoring rules right now for fumble recovery by offensive player individual for a touchdown, which would not count any yards. So we'll see what we get next year. But this year, and what's odd, this is year 21 of this, and this has never happened, never come up.
Yep. Well, let's head out to let's do the rundown, and we can fairly glance over all the other teams that's not in the playoffs, but we can focus on other teams. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the rundown, Rob.
Well, we pretty much just did the deal for our gentleman there on that game. So we'll just do a quick couple of them. Let's name some MVPs and some GOATs and get out of here. Okay, so taking a look at the hold on, Sam. I totally apologize. I was on the weekly results and I had to go look at something else. All right. So Pete Muppets and High Rollers. Yeah, we got a quick run there. There's not much to say here. Miles Sanders, 40 points. High Rollers goes out strong. Pete Muppets, they put him out of his misery finally. New Denver and Sabs. This is a big game. Sabs he's hoping he's got it all out of his hands. He's got to roll into this. He's out Lamar Jackson, and God help him. He did what we've all had to do this year, Sam, at one time or another. He had to start Derek Carr. And Derek Carr came in with a fine 1-point performance. You're just like, Jesus. God, it's you just I I had him. He had a 2 point performance. Scott had him. He had a 1 point. Scott and Nolan both had him one week. I think no, Scott got 1 point out. And Nolan got like four. I mean, it's just Nolan might have had the high. He might have got nine out of him. Let's just at this point, it sucks. New Denver, kudos, man. Jalen Hurts and Trevor Lawrence, 45. Oh, is Trevor Lawrence all of a sudden going to be like a playoff hero down there in the warm weather? We shall see.
Yeah.
Gangrene and also Verde played. This really could have been like a dividing point where I threw Nolan out of the house because he was so upset that I knocked him out of the playoffs. But it turns out that, or he could have left on his own accord, I suppose. But as it turns out, he could have given a shit because the season was over when he lost to Tay the week before. And Gangrene gets the win, baby. I'm owning the house, man, so I rule. Yeah, 143.5. That's pretty good.
That's decent, yeah.
I like to point out that my tight ends combined to score about 7 points this year. This might have been my high water mark on the year. Was Greg Dulcich at 4. So I was actually pretty impressed by that. Straight LA beat the bag of the bat. I love it. Kyler Murray 0. Oh, Tay thought he was maybe had a chance there, and Kyler just jogging blows his knee out. Right.
Third play.
So it's third play of the game. In other news, the Raiders are intent on running Josh Jacobs directly into the ground. God, Tay lost T. Higgins, I think, on the first play of the game. It was either the first or the third. I can't remember.
No, he was hurt during warmups, but they needed him to play for 3 plays for some sort of contract thing, right, to get money and stuff. And then that's it. They pulled him. He was hurt during warmups.
So I did not know that story, and I can tell you, I'd drag my broken ass out there for a contract bonus too, man.
Yes.
So kudos to T. Higgins on getting paid, man.
Yes.
That is what you call a gamer. Straight LA, good job, man, taking him out. Christian McCaffrey, I'm still saying that's got to be the greatest midseason trade in the history of fantasy football, right? The greatest midseason pickup in the history of fantasy football is Larry Johnson with the Chiefs. The greatest trade that ever occurred is McCaffrey. He still couldn't quite get in. He's about a game short. Belichick made Ninja Assassin. God, you guys played a game? Man, let's move on from there. Wolfpack in the Hart Foundation. This is a game we already drove into the ground. There's not much else to say on this other than, let's see. I mean, I guess we could find all the ways that Todd probably could have won. Jamal Williams up there in a timeshare over Juju Smith-Schuster against Denver. Yeah, I'd probably go there too. Juju against that Denver defense, who they're pretty game this week. I don't know. I don't want to do that to Todd. Cody, he's just stuck between Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. And do you play them both? He could have played them both. He would have been fine, man. Ramondre Stevenson going out, but you got 2 Cowboys. And Cody, kudos to you putting Mike Evans on the bench. That's the way to play it, baby. I did it too, and it felt good, man. It just felt right. So, Mad Dog, Autumn Wind, they played a game too. Yeah, and as did Degenerate and Kelly Bulldogs. I guess we should say something nice. Mad Dog, that's how we like rookies to play. Not well. And Autumn Wind, kudos to you and good luck to you in the playoffs. Losing Kyler Murray is a kick in the pants right before the damn playoffs start too. Ooh, that's tough. And Degenerate down there, we talked about this nice week. Miles Sanders again, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. Dude, this, you sit there and you go, and I got Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, who Justin Herbert inexplicably became available midseason, right before his wide receivers got healthy too. That was interesting. And you look at this, Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin. This probably, he probably deserved a little better. Kelly Bulldogs rolling in there with Derek Carr and Geno Smith. That's a college football game I wouldn't necessarily even pay to go see. So if they were out there, Tyler Boyd's the guy that went out in the first play. And DeAndre Hopkins, yeah. So better luck next year, my man. Love you all. It was a great season, Sam.
Great season. Hey, let's talk about studs and puds for the whole season.
Studs and puds for the whole season. This is easy. So I looked at the numbers. I'm going to go league MVP. I'm going to go a little controversy here, Sam. It may be a one and done, but league MVP is Travis Kelce. He didn't have the highest points, but compared to the next position, it was Taysom Hill was like 90 points below him. And that's Taysom Hill, who was a gimmick player. After that, I think it was like Mark Andrews. I mean, Travis Kelce was so far and away the best tight end and the best player at his position in comparison to everybody else that it's not even close. I mean, so I'm going to go with Travis Kelce as the MVP of the league. I'm not saying he's the best player out there. He's the
Mm-hmm.
best tight end, but
Mm-hmm.
as far as value, hard to beat Kelsey this year. Some other guys, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's your quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, Josh Allen kind of fell off. I mean, Mahomes is kind of falling off. We don't want to talk about that performance on Sunday against Denver.
Denver. Yep.
That's I didn't see it. I don't even know. I wasn't yelling at my TV going, "What the hell happened?" That wasn't me. That you might have heard from three counties over. How about the aforementioned Josh Jacobs? That's a stud, man. Where did that come from, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
contract year, right? And his fifth year,
yeah,
so he needed to play lights out, right?
yeah. I don't. I still don't know if there's any team dumb enough to go, pay big money for a running back that the Las Vegas Raiders just ran directly into a brick wall for whatever purpose. But Derrick Henry, he just keeps on going. That guy's on his way to Canton, Ohio. He's a Hall of Famer at this point. There's no question. He continues to be a rock solid fantasy player. Nick Chubb, he had a fantastic year too, and especially. Max got a bunch of crap for taking him as his number one pick, and I think he more than lived up to that. We don't want to discuss Max's like fourth round through ninth round picks, but he did quite well in the first couple of rounds there. And looking over at wide receivers here, this is there's four that stand out, but Devontae Adams. And again, how is this possible? You got the fantasy stud running back and the fantasy stud wide receiver, and you blew a fucking game to Baker Mayfield with no timeouts and 98 yards on national TV by only scoring, and they only scored like what was it, 16 points or something. Dude, the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, they're going to Raiders,
man. But
they're going to Raiders.
But as it turns out, even with a lame ass quarterback there, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams for fantasy gold this year. You got Justin Jefferson, huge. Tyreek Hill, allergic to the end zone for a large portion of the season, but still had a massive yards. And even he's so good and so fast that he even scores points that we don't even have a rule for, Sam. And, and then there's a couple of those. Stephon Diggs jumps out at you, right? And, as far as the defense goes, I made the brilliant choice to drop the New England Patriots. They were the actual scoring best defense in this league. We kind of minimized it this year, although but the Dallas Cowboys defense, man, man, they were mighty, mighty, mighty good, Sam.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Am I missing anybody? Can you think of anybody that's right off the top of your head at the stud level?
That's studs. Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts might get season MVP, like the real season MVP, NFL MVP. He's playing like it. You say Patrick Mahomes. You say Patrick Mahomes because you're a homer, right?
So. No, I think Patrick Mahomes because I say Patrick Mahomes because I listening to Albert Breer on the Dan Patrick show this morning. He's going, look, man, I mean, Jalen's had a nice year, but they traded and got A.J. Brown, and he's been fantastic. Mm-hmm. But they also look at that schedule over there, and you go, yeah, okay, Eagles. I mean, it's nice. I challenge anybody to go look at the Chiefs schedule and find me a harder schedule through the first 14 weeks that's ever been played. And also he lost Tyreek Hill, which was, oh my God, the sky's falling. And, there they are. They've lost 3 games and, they're rolling right along. So I still go Mahomes. And I mean, I'm telling you, they're both standing out there on the playground, Sam, and you're going to build your franchise. Which one are you taking?
I saw an interesting stat this past weekend that Patrick Mahomes is 15-0 against the division. I'm like, wow, he never lost to the Raiders, the Chargers, or Denver in his whole career.
No,
is that what he's saying?
Yeah. Oh. Yes, he's never. So Patrick Mahomes until the Cincinnati game and Andy Reid, they had not lost in November and December in like 4 years, and he's never lost on the road to any of the division. He's never lost to on the road to the division.
On the road to the division. Oh, okay.
They did inexplicably lose once to the Oakland Raiders, and they were the Oakland Raiders at that time, I think. And then John Gruden did the drive around the stadium, and I think that worked out pretty well for him in the long run, as well as that franchise, because everybody always goes, man, the Raiders, after they won that game, they did the victory lap around Arrowhead. Did. I mean, it's been nothing but great ever since. So anyway, so speaking of PUDs, we got a few of these guys here.
Yes, yep.
My personal putt of the year is Mike Evans. I don't like watching him play. I don't like that whole vibe off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in general. And the guy hasn't scored since week 4. He's got some competition. The great Jonathan Taylor. I don't think it's his fault. I think he's a little banged up and want to mess with the coach and Matt Ryan and the whole bit. But Jonathan Taylor, man, he was like the number 1 pick, number 2 pick everywhere. Yeah, he's about the 28th best running back in the league. Debo, dude, talk about getting paid and disappearing. Debo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Alvin Kamara's on like his 17th season now, so he can definitely come back, and trust me, somebody's going to draft him high, and you're either going to get the Alvin Kamara that scored 7 touchdowns for Mark Revis, my man Mark Revis, to win the championship, or you're going to get the Alvin Kamara that showed up this season. Oh God!
Now, come on. Speaking of Debo Sanders getting paid and be missing, let's go to Russell Wilson getting paid.
Oh, well, Sam, I was purposely staying away from what has got to be the greatest PUD performance, both fantasy and professionally, in the history of the NFL football. Russell Wilson, 11 touchdowns now because the Chiefs are just lame sometimes, and that defense will pain you. But, I mean, I'm telling you, Sam, it couldn't be worse.
It's bad. It was bad. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers.
We're naming the award the
Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but these guys are all afterthoughts when you think about. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is pretty fuddly. Tom Brady was pretty awful this year.
Yep.
There's no question. But there's plenty of guys. Derek Carr. I mean, there's lots of shitty quarterbacks, Sam. So that are paid a lot of money. Matt Ryan. I mean, I don't know if Matt Ryan ever made it onto anybody's fantasy roster, but there's plenty of these guys out there. But dude. They all pale in comparison to $247 million Russell Wilson.
Yep. That guy has to be in Denver.
He's yours.
I know.
He's yours, baby.
I know. But hey, great way to end the podcast, the regular season podcast, folks. Hey, make sure you guys pay the league. Again, I'll put
that up there at the top.
Yeah. No. I'll make sure to put the Venmo in there. And let's talk about the waiver wire real quick. Wait. I think you did mention the waiver wire already.
Yeah, it's already adjusted.
So make sure you guys are aware of that. And hey, good luck to everybody still in it. Everybody else, come to the loser's couch, right, Rob?
Yep. It's nice and warm. It's already got a butt groove for you. I've been working it in for weeks. All right, Sam. Thank you for everything you do, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Good luck, everybody.
Bye.
That's still in it.